so in this session, I'm gonna bring in an image, one of these images, and I'll position it and scale it if it needs to be scaled. Okay, so it's like it's just an image. I don't have any coordinates for it. It's just an image that sits somewhere and I want to bring it in. So to do this, I'm gonna just clean out my images quickly. And go to File here and Open Image. And I think I can find it on my C drive. So the images that I just brought in will all go under your username, under .mm systems, under mm, and there should be a desktop folder or a temp folder. I think it's going to be desktop actually. Yeah, and let's say I want to bring in that image. Okay, so it's just an image. It's not geo-referenced. Okay, so if I close this, you can see that's where it is. Okay, you can see the size is not right or whatever. So if I go to images, and if I knew a distance or something on that image, I could use it. So there's on the left there's show by ratio and show by coordinates. So show by ratio is actually the pixel resolution that image was taken at, and it will in most cases just explode the whole thing into bigger size, and it's going to be like a huge block of data sitting somewhere. But using show by ratio keeps the dimension relationship true. Okay, it's because I can at any point go and use this button and stretch it. Oops, actually. Let's just go indicate. Why is it doing that? Wrong image, that one. That helps. Okay, so if I stretch it, obviously that's not a good idea. But if I go and say show by ratio and I close it, it should change the image to the original resolution it was created at. Okay. Been working on the wrong image from the start. Okay, so then you can go and say, okay, because I've got show by coordinates, these coordinates represent the top left and the bottom right pixel of that image. So if you can coordinate that, that's ideal. Then you can just type in the top left, bottom right image coordinate, and it will put that image in the right place immediately. Okay, that's probably the best way to do it. Can I get another glass of water? Thanks. Just water, yeah. Okay, thanks. So there's this option to say indicate to. So if you don't know, sorry, not that one, this one actually. There's a little question mark there. So if this image, sometimes it comes in at a very large scale, and we need to scale it down, but we don't know what that factor should be. You could then go and click on this little question mark, and you can say the correct distance on the image and the measured distance on the image. So you would, for instance, measure, let's say I have to now find something that's referable. Say I'm going to just use F6 and use the distance between that point there and that point there. And it comes up as a certain length, 269.13. Okay. So if I go then to my image tool, I can then go and say, well, you have to obviously measure that image also. So let's just find the appropriate area. So it's sort of that corner and that corner there. So let's measure that, F6. And I think it's about, oops, just go freehand. Change your snap mode to free and go from there down to, what's that corner there about? There. So that's 550. Okay, I'm going to just use that. So that's the distance on the image at the moment. All right. So if I then go to this thing and I say measure distance on image, that's the 550. But the correct distance is the one I did of the actual proportions we want, and it works out a new ratio for you. So if I say OK and close, Am I on the wrong image again? So say zoom out. Come on. I probably have to say show by ratio. That's right. Okay, so now the ratio will be applied. There we go. Okay, so now the image is in a sort of a true ratio. Okay, then I say F6 again, and I'm going to do 2 points. And thanks to Mr. Thompson, we can get the dy dx difference. So I could say, well, if that point is there and I want to go to that line endpoint, so we go line endpoint there, it gives me my dy dx difference. Okay, and then I can use that and shift my image by that much. Okay, so but you're going to grab it on the center of the image because there's grips. 3 on top, 2 in the middle, and then 3 at the bottom, and then there's another grip in the middle. If you grab the middle one, it moves the whole thing. So I want to move it by that much. Okay, so it needs to go, it's actually, we need to go move this whole thing. So it's actually going to be positives and negative. So we need to go positive and negative there. Okay, that's how we need to move. All right, so now we need to remember all of that. So I'm going to just put it in Notepad. So that's dy and the dx. All right, and we're going to close this. And we're going to go back to our image tool. And I'm going to use this indicate 9. Grab it in the middle there. Okay, it's grabbing it. It remembered that coordinate where I snapped. Press my spacebar. If you know the shortcut, you can just use your dy dx difference there. And then you type in, let's put in the x first because we already have it in memory, and the y. Oops. And okay. And there's georeferenced and scaled. Yes. No. Because Model Maker CAD is about 6,000 Rand. If we want to rotate it, we have to add about 100,000 to that. I worked for Eskom at some point, and they used MicroStation, and there was a module in MicroStation called Descartes. I don't know if anybody of you know about that. And at that stage, that package was 130,000, and it could rotate and actually do Helmerton imagery. But they charged a pretty penny for it. So I always say 6,000 Rand CAD can do pretty good stuff. Happiness.